Good evening. We are back on Virtual Pool 4 and we are here for the semi-final match between Larry and Interchangex in the VP4 Cowboy World Championships. It's a race to two. Both players are here. Interchangex still in a room. I presume he's in a room in his own practicing somewhere. There he is. So let's have a quick look at the bracket. Hang on a minute. That's the one I want. Right, so here we are. Well, unfortunately, Larry's last match was all set up between him and Acero, but Acero was a no-show and we haven't seen him since, so I don't know what happened there. This match due to start in about 2 minutes time, and the winner of this match is going to be playing now the favourite for the tournament, and that is Baker Maker. Baker Maker with the highest run in the tournament so far, his run of 90 that he had in his last match, which was a great match between himself and Interchangex. It went all the way, and well, Baker Maker's 90 beats Larry's 82 that he got in one of his earlier matches, so there's still a chance for someone to get into the 90s straight from the break. It could happen tonight, we never know, but this tournament is wide open, anyone can win it. And well, Larry's been in plenty of these tournaments, and as I keep saying, all these championships he's been in, he's never won one. Will this be his year? Well, Interchangex might have a say on that. Race to two, it could be over quite quickly, you never know. But I think it's a lottery as to who will win this. But certainly, scoring when you're in is the main objective in this game. You've got to get to 91st. You've got to put the pressure on. It's the same old story. It's like a broken record. That is always the goal in Cowboy. You've got to get to 90 before your opponent does, and try and get into those caroms. Puts the pressure on. So we are waiting in the room, going up, should be up any second now. I'm going to dive straight in and then I'll change the cloth colour to blue. We are live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Mixer and Smashcast. I've never had anybody on from Smashcast and never had anybody on from Mixer. There, the room is up. There might be a first time for that as well. Right, let's get the cloth colour changed, hopefully before they both get in. Oh, that didn't work. Where are we? Blue. So we've got Interchangex in. Larry will be in any second. We'll have the lag for the break. And I don't know when this... oh, there he's in. Right, let's go. Now, I think that is Larry nearest us. Interchangex, I think, on the far side. I'm just guessing, but I think that's Larry's queue on the inside. And it looks as if... Set your cloth to bloody default blue. No, I'll always have it in green for snooker. And then I have to... That's the one thing I keep moaning about. I've moaned about that since the first day VP4 was launched, that you cannot keep the cloth colours for different tables. So if you're in hard times, I like to play in hard times, and you know, you have the snooker cloth on the default colour, and then when you change to a pool table, the pool table's green, yet you want the pool table to stay on blue, and VP4 doesn't do it. It's stupid. I've moaned about it from day one and nothing has ever been done about it. Anyway, forget about that. Larry is off and running. He won the lag, but he didn't finish good on that 5 ball, so straight away he's missed the carom. Good evening and welcome, gents, and anybody else that might drop by. Oh, there's no point in doing it, Tin. He's never listened to me. I keep saying about it. If you're in a room, for example, hard times, right? It shouldn't be that difficult to save the cloth colour for the pool table, the colour you want, and then when you change the game to snooker, it should save the cloth colour for snooker, like green. He'll never do it because it's probably far too much work and a complete oversight. Anyway, I'm finished moaning about VP4. I've had 7 years of it and most of the stuff hasn't been done. Good evening, Popman. So Interchangex has, well, he's got an early chance to immediately put the pressure on Larry, because Larry only getting 3 off the break is not the sort of start you want, especially in a semi-final match. Let's have a little double check. Everything's working. Now, I use XSplit Gamecaster. XSplit Gamecaster has brought out version, I think it's version 4. I'm on 3 point something or other. And version 4 is completely different from the way this Gamecaster is set up. That works, and I've tried it. I tried it in beta format, and I didn't really like it. I'm going to be trying it again, and I'm going to probably try a stream with it at some point. But I'm going to have to spend some time getting my head around it, because it's completely different setup from the way this is. This is so simple to use. Gamecaster version 4 is the same idea as this, where you don't need 2 monitors, you only need the 1 monitor like I'm using at the moment. But it's a whole different layout the way they've got it done. So I'll be trying that again at some point to try and really work my way around it. But that's for the future. We'll worry about that then. Meanwhile, more important matters, Interchangex on 18, going to stun to the 1 by the looks of it, rather than the force follow. I think force follow looks simple, because when you stun to that 1 ball, there's always a risk of scratching in the middle pocket there. So he took a risk, and now he's out of shape. He should have played the force follow, and he's going to have a hard job reading that angle. Yeah, so a premature end to that run there by Interchangex. Yeah, I was talking about that to Tin the other day there about shooter's pool. When you're in shooter's pool, I discovered that the other day there when I was in, because a pop-up message came up, you know, like when you're loading the game, it gives you little hit tips about the game. And I had loaded a room for myself, and it says press control tab so that you can actually go and look at the lobby, rather than in here where all you can do is look at the lobby chat. And in shooter's pool, you can actually press control and tab, and that'll take you out into the lobby so you can see what other rooms are up, just the way GameSpy used to work. And that's another thing that VP4 has lacked from day one. It's never allowed you to look at the lobby. You know, you could be in a room on your own messing about, and then you're looking to see if somebody's got a room up. But to do that in VP4, you have to kill your room and come out. Shooter's pool, you don't need to do that. That's another thing they've got up in VP4. So Larry, back in at the table. I hope he's going to make a bit more than what he did from his first visit. He's going to be okay with the carom. Now, if he plays this he might want to pot the one, but if he actually plays the one off the rail out into the table, he should have the... He'll pot the... If he pots the one, he's not leaving himself a guaranteed carom. And that cue ball should have run further past the 3. Now he's in a bit of trouble again. He's going to have to maybe play the draw shot. And it's not lined perfect for a draw. He can go off 1 rail or 2 rails around the corner to hit the one. But this is where it's up in the air as to whether he's going to be able to continue his run here. I say exactly the same position. He hasn't improved it at all. Now, if he goes... I think he's playing the draw. Well, he's got to improve one of these balls. It's got to be the 5, because it'll spot and then he'll have the easy carom. 5 to 3. This is what you've always got to be thinking about in Cowboy. If you're going to make a run, especially with alternate pots and caroms, you've got to remember where the ball's going, what end of the table you're at, to try and build up a run, build up a score. The other problem is he doesn't want to leave that 1 ball just lying on the side rail. Now, potting this 3 ball, he can get the bonus of the 1 ball by bringing it out, and if he stays at that top end of the table, he should have the 3-5 carom at least. He might be going the 5 for the 3-1 carom, but either way he has to get that one out of there. Got to play the 3 to the 1, and this is where you're then relying on being lucky to still have a pot. You can't guarantee you're going to have a pot, but you've got a better idea if you get them out off the rails. So he's fine, and now he can follow through off the 3 with a bit of left English and leave him top side for a 3-1 carom or for the 3-5, so he can give himself choices here. That little bit of, I don't think he put any spin on it, but I think he's still okay for the forced follow. He can go 3-5. The safest one is a 3-1, because that way you're very unlikely you're going to scratch. And once again, that 1 ball is doing nothing where it is, and now he's in a bit of trouble. Got to be careful here to try and keep this run. This is very delicate to try and drop that, and I think he's going for the cut down the rail. Cue ball running loose. Well, looking at the 5-1, but a 3-5 is a wee bit tricky. It's a bit too straight. If that 3 ball was even if the cue ball was further off the rail, he could probably get away with it easier. He's going to play the 5-1, and not too hard, I would suggest, because the worst possible outcome is leaving a 3 ball down the rail. You see, now he's out of shape, but he's got the emergency backup of the 3 ball down the rail. Run goes to 32. Yeah, I wouldn't be touching any of those 2 balls. I'd be leaving them where they are and getting that 3 on its spot, because you can certainly get the carom from the 5 to the 1 or 1 to the 5. Got to be gentle again with this. Don't want the cue ball squirting away anywhere. That's just going to hold its line. Now, this is the one where it's difficult to judge. Got to get the spin and the draw working together to make this carom. A simple stun to that middle diamond as we look would do the trick, but a bit of help and spin, and he has to be careful he doesn't go inside the 1 and run along into that left hand corner pocket. That's the danger about this shot. So he's hit it more or less top side of the one. And he's in reasonably good shape here. A little delicate one ball. And he's over to the right hand side for a 5-3. Just a little feather of help in English as well would also help. Not too much, just enough to get him over to the right half of the table. Just a wee bit more juice on it than he wanted. He's just run too far. And this is where it's again gets dangerous. He's got to hit this ball full in the face if he can. That way he takes out the risk of the scratch off that 3 ball. And that will do. Now, has he got a pot? That's the only danger. And again, he's going to have to pull a great shot out here. But certainly, I wouldn't be cutting the 3. There's no way that's cutting. And you're going to leave the cue ball running all over the place. Probably best to take your points and run, Larry. That would be my suggestion. Try and make a bank in the 3 or make a cut in the 1. But if you start running that cue ball, it's always a danger. Run is on 38. Big risk if he's going all out for this. And that's a good shot, and he played it at a nice pace as well. Now, again, this is a danger one. A stun across to that 5. Has to hit it full on or the bottom side that's nearest us to avoid any risk of scratching. He's trying to get inside from the rail. That'll do. I didn't think he could manage that thin enough, but that will do very nicely. He's now back in shape here. A force follow through on this 3 ball should give him the easy carom to follow 3 to 5. I don't know how straight he is though. He might be a bit too straight. Let's have a wee look. Ah, he is. He's dead straight, but he's still okay. Little run through. The run is on 43. It's all about building up the score, but more importantly, keeping those points. And he's missed it. It needed to be a firm stun, but again, that would have been risky. So Larry's run, after that run of only 3 at the start, the run ends on 43. He's got a healthy little lead at the moment. Interchangex first visit was 19. And let's see if we can eat into that deficit. I'm giving up the snooker final for this semi-final match, by the way. I'm missing the final session will have started. Or just about started, I think. Between Ali Carter and, what's his name? Oh dear. Oh no, it's a carom. I'm getting excited. Stuart Bingham in the Masters final. Well, he's going for the cut in the 5 ball. I think the 1 ball would be far simpler. Now, how good is he? Is he going to be dead straight? He's just offline. I don't know whether he can play the force follow. I don't think he's far enough across. No, he can't. He can't play it. He's going to have to manufacture something here. Looks like the old, I think it's the old draw to the left rail onto the 3. Because I don't think the force follows on. It's too tight. Yeah. Well, no problem with the pot in the 3, but he could well pot the 5 and cut across behind the 1 ball. Give him a choice of shots on the left hand side of the table. Well, he's finishing short. You see, that is not a great position. He wanted to be, I mean, if you let that play normal pace, the cue ball would have been over here and it would have been an easier carom. Now he's going to run down to the 3, I think. Oh, he tried to get to the 5. Well, it's only 15, and again, I keep saying about it every time you come to the table in Cowboy, if you're behind, you've got to get rid of the deficit with your visit. That's your first priority, and Interchangex has failed there. Larry's still back at the table with a 12-point lead and about to build on it. A simple enough carom to follow here. The 3 ball's in a great position for a 3-railer, but then again, you would only play that out of desperation. And now one of them has to go. Well, I would want to play the 3 ball, because that way, if you stay top side of the 3 ball, you've given yourself choices for a carom to the 1 or the 5. Well, Larry's going to play the cut here, and that's going to leave him a cut from the 1 to the 5, provided he gets it and gets up the table. I'd still prefer the 3 ball, because that gives me 2 choices. This way, he's really only playing 1 choice. And I think, yeah, that should be okay, and it just needs to be gentle. He doesn't want to follow it in. Got to get it thin. Maybe even go to the left side rail first and clip it. Oh, well, the double kiss actually saved him there. That cue ball was doing its best to follow into the pocket. And this again needs to be gentle. It wants to stay top side of the 3 ball. Give him a choice. And that is reasonably good. Once again, gentle. You don't want to have enough weight in this cue ball for it to run if it skims off this 3. Well, the obvious shot here is pot the 3. And then you've got the easy carom to follow. Remember, these pockets are on tight settings. You've got to be accurate. There is no forgiveness in them. Especially with any medium power or anything like that. If it's slightly offline, it doesn't go in. Well, one of these balls is going to bank up the table. Now that will do. As long as it gets in any position relatively close to that 3, it leaves the easy carom. Now, the ideal shot here would be to finish on the right side and pot that 3 and just draw onto the 5. Or if possible, if you can just skim past it, it leaves him an easy, it leaves him the easy carom to follow. He's got the carom here, but I mean, that's guaranteed he's going to get it. But if he can pot the 3 as well and not let the 5 go too far away, he should be lined up for his next shot. And that's just gone to the pocket, so that will do very handily. And now the balls are all going to be spotted, unless Larry sees it differently. Much simpler getting that 5 ball back onto the middle spot. Well, you see, if he'd gone another 6 inches to the left, it would have been a simple carom. Now it's got to be the force follow. And this is not easy to judge. He's trying to play it thin, and this is the danger with this shot. Got to play a dead weight shot, which tends to kill the one ball on the bottom rail, like, well, more or less like that. But there's been a little bounce, but now it needs a good pot though. He's not in the best of shape, and Larry has struggled with some of these pots, finding the line. And I think this is the first real pot he's had at distance. Let's see if he can pick his line. And once again, he's been caught out. He's been caught out again. And the run ends on 32. Now this time, Interchangex is at a point where he simply has to get a score together, because Larry is breathing down the neck of getting to 90. Now that's gone past the 5 spot, but now he's got a little feathery tickle on this 5. Just a brush off the 5 and no more. Skim the paint off it. And you see how difficult it is to judge. He hit that too thick, believe it or not. It had to be just a feather. And the run is only 5. And Larry, well, he's got to be in 90 after this visit. And that's much better weight to make the force follow a lot easier. The easier one actually, he's going to try and feather the 3. You see the cue ball is running. Again, he's got away with it. Very risky. Now I think he's got the angle. If he forces this one in, he can run to the rail and kick the 5 out if he wants. I don't think he's playing that though. He's playing top. Now has he gone far enough? Yes, he has. An easy force follow. He's on 85. Of course, he needs to remember the score as well. You don't want to get too engrossed in what you're doing and forgetting where you are. Well, now he's got no choice. It has to be the 3 ball. That'll take him to 89. And this time, no problem in getting to 90. Now, he's going to push the 1 to the top rail. If he hits the 3 hard enough, it will come off that right side rail and back across, and may well be adjacent to make the next carom. Well, he's actually half hit the 1. That's worked out very nice. He can go 1 ball, top rail, and onto the 3 rather than playing it direct, and that way he doesn't risk pushing the 3 further towards the pocket. And that's the right idea. And now if he plays this right, he can push the 1. If he just skims the 1, he can push it out into the table towards the 5. Doesn't want to hit it half ball. He wants to sort of thin it if he can. Well, he's hit it full. You see now he's out of shape. He's going to have to make 1 now, and this is all about reading the line. And he's got to watch he doesn't cut the 1 into that middle pocket, even though it's a tight angle. Got to be careful. Well, it looks like 3 rails. End rail, side rail, but not enough spin on it to get there. So Larry's run ends on 14, but he's into the caroms. He's on 92. And Interchangex now is at the point of no return. He has to put a substantial score together on this visit, or he's going to be chasing his tail for the rest of this rack. That is unless Larry stalls, and it's very easy to get stalled in the caroms. Well, this time it looks like the force follow is going to be played, and it's not an easy angle to judge again. Rather than trying to thin it, it's too thin a cut to actually try and thin and go to the 3. Well, now it's threatening to end fairly shortly unless he pulls off a shot. The 3 ball dead in the top rail. That's no good. That is no good sitting there. That's a good shot. Now this time he can certainly play the 5 to the 3, but this has got to be thin. And he wants to hit it half ball again. Half ball brings the 3 ball out. Full in the face ends up maybe a double kiss. And the 3 ball not going anywhere. And that will do very nicely. That's worked out pretty good. 5 ball over the middle pocket. And if he gets the line right with this, he should have the 5-1 to follow. I think he just needs a wee bit of spin just to come up the table like that. It could have done with going a bit more to make this a wee bit more straightforward. But you would generally hit this 9 times out of 10. And again, the safe route is going to the rail and kicking into the 1. The run goes to 32. Interchangex. What is he? 21 points behind. So he has a chance as long as he can hold it together. Again, if he gets the 5, that's a bonus, but it's a thin edge, and just drop onto the 1. 5 ball over the middle pocket. We're still in good shape. He's on 38. And he can give himself a choice. Now, if he pots the 5 and comes down to the bottom half of the table, it gives him a choice from 5 to 1 or 5 to 3. I don't know whether he's drawing back. Yeah, he's drawing back. Now he's in no man's land. He's going to have to make one. Looking for a carom. Now does he risk running this cue ball? Looks as if he's trying to draw to the top rail and kick into the 1. That looks like what he's doing. Might be something entirely different, but I think that's what he's trying to play. Didn't get into it enough. Oh, he's got the 5. Well, that's a 2-in-1 shot. That's the other shot to look for in Cowboy. If you're picking a line to 1 ball and you miss it, hopefully your line will take you to the next ball. And the 2-in-1 shot is always a good shot to play as a emergency escape route. And that's got him out a hole there. And now Interchangex needs to be careful. He's got no carom, he's got no force follow. I'd be running to the hills here. I'd be just playing anything for safety rather than taking a risk. You've built up 49. You've got yourself more or less back into it. Don't do anything silly. That's the commentator's advice. Okay, you might be letting Larry in with some caroms here, but you don't want to have to chase it all again if you blow it. Well, if he's trying to stun from that 3 to the 5, he could risk banking the 3. Yeah, he's just sort of running around. It was a half-hearted attempt, but it was more like a preservation order there. Don't do anything silly. And Interchangex run ends on 49, and he's too short of the caroms, but he's a lot healthier looking than what he was 5 minutes ago. And it might be that Larry's visit is only going to be 1 point, unless he can get that spin to work. The 5 ball is a big target, either direct or off the rail into the 5, so he should get this. Oh, he's missed it, and he's missed the backup ball as well. So that has worked out very handily for Interchangex. Having said that, though, he's not been left much. It's going to have to be picking that cut angle on this one into that top corner. Not easy. Anywhere near that inside knuckle, and it ain't going in, and he's played it perfect. And so the 5 to the 3 will get him onto the caroms. Now, I think he just brushed that and no more. Yep. Now, this 3 ball could kick back into the cue ball here. It needs to stay out the way. The little stun onto the 5. And he's managed to avoid that. Now, where's the 3 going to end up? If it keeps coming, well, it could have done with going a bit further. This is another tricky one, because you're having to let the cue ball run. Now, if he hits the top side of the 3, he could risk scratching in the middle. He also has to be careful with that 5 ball that he doesn't pot it, making that carom angle to the 3. Has to watch this 5. And that'll do. Now, what's he left here? Well, he can't get to the 5 from the 1. He could. Now, there is a shot, which is a big target again. If you go there with a bit of inside English, you can get to the 5 that way. It looks as if he's going from the 3 to try and make the 5. But I think the inside left off the 1 like that, and a bit of inside English will just push that cue ball that way. Just a wee bit inside right. In fact, I don't think he needed any. Well, that's at least got him another point. He's now tied with Larry. And a little spin onto the 1, but where's the cue ball going? Oh, he's okay. It's getting a wee bit dicey. But for the first time, really, Interchangex, apart from that first contribution, which I think was 19, but he's now in the lead. Well, is he trying to spin into the 3? Yep, kick it away from the pocket. Very nice. And now he's in not too bad a shape here. But again, when he's actually making the carom, you've got to be careful where the 3 ball's going. And he's feathered it gentle, taking that risk of potting the 3 out of the equation. The run is 8. But he's now got a 3-point lead. And Interchangex has come good at the right time. That run of 49, I think it was, getting him back into the rack. And Larry, only getting the 1 carom in his last visit, has opened the doors here for Interchangex in this first rack. It looks like the little force follow is very nicely placed there. So now on 98. I think a wee bit of spin and he'll get to the one. And now he's completely in command at this stage in the caroms. He can try and go thin off that 5, just a feather edge, no more. So it'll just hold its line and get to the 1. It needs to be so thin, a lot thinner than you think, like that. And now, can he just get that thin enough, or can he force follow and push the 1 away to get the scratch for the first rack? This has been an excellent run right through the caroms here for Interchangex, but the pockets are so tight, you've just no margin of error. And so Interchangex run ends in 12, and 10 of them have all been caroms, so that's an excellent little run there, and it gets him in total command. And look where the 1 ball is. That 1 ball needs to move, Larry. You've got to get rid of that 1, whatever you do. And he's missed it, and he's teed it up. That was always the risk. If you're not certain that you can get that carom to the 1, you've got to get that 1 moved. Now this again, this will work. You just push that 1 around the corner and let the force follow take the cue ball in. It will go, and there is enough room to get that 1 ball out the way. So again, second attempt, this for the first rack. And it doesn't need to be played hard, just gentle with enough top, and in it goes. And so Interchangex, chasing all the way through that first rack, has pinched it from Larry, and he's got the first rack on the board and breaking off in rack number 2. Well, that's a typical good game of Cowboy, where you're actually chasing the game all the way through, and then if you can do what Interchangex did there, where's the cue ball going? Well, there's a bonus of a start for Larry. The scratch straight away from Interchangex. Well, Larry knows what he has to be doing here. He has to get something substantial on this board. So that first rack was, what, about 40 minutes? Not even that. Well, this shot, I like to play this with a little draw off the 5, so it takes me up the top side of the 3. See, Larry's letting it run. See, that shot there, I tend to want to pot that 5, but play a little draw so that the cue ball's going that way rather than there. This is a wee bit more difficult. And he's just caught the edge of it. Just caught it. Well, he can cut the 1. The 1 will cut fine. It's off the rail. And then the cue ball, if he cuts the 1, the cue ball's going up that direction. If he gets the weight right, he should have the 5-1 carom to follow. That should be in the plan here. Cue ball going to finish up somewhere up round about there, you would think. Unless he has to feel that he has to play it any harder, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to get it to the pocket. It'll drop in. Well, he's got other ideas. But to me, you've got that angle there that takes you up the side rail for the 5-1 carom. The 5's adjacent to the 1 minute spots. I don't know what Larry's thinking from this end. Well, now he's got to go side rail onto the 1. Now this will have to be punched to make the angle and get that wee bit of spin to work. Just again clipped it. But the 1 ball is still in that awkward spot. And again, he has the chance to pot the 1. And if he plays it again, the problem with that though is you're letting the cue ball run loose. And I think that's what Larry's trying to avoid. You're always taking a risk there doing that. But it's much better getting that 1 up and on its spot to help with the scoring. This is a danger one. Half ball and you're risking a scratch, and he's missed it. And he was always going to be struggling just to run out a line. I think that first time there, instead of potting the 3, he should have potted the 1 and worked for the 5 and 1. So Larry's visit from that gift of a start by Interchangex was only 21, but Interchangex has gone cold, stone cold. He's missed a 3. Well, this time Larry's going to get the 1 on its spot. I reckon if he kills the cue ball more or less there, well, he's actually let it run, he's going to have no force follow to the 1 that way, to the 5. So he's out of shape. If he'd managed to get that cue ball to there, he would have had the 1 to the 3. But where it is no good. You're having to make the cue ball work. And he's managed to play the recovery shot. Now can he build up the score? This is his second opportunity. No score on the board for Interchangex. 2 visits, 2 misses. Well, one miss and a scratch. Well, you take your choice here. Thin off the 3 to the 5 or force follow from the 5 to the 1. Play the 3, stay the top side and give yourself a choice. The closer he can get to the top rail, the more of a choice he's given himself here. Now, I don't think he can play. No, he can't. He can't play the force follow to the 5, but he can play the thin edge from the 3 to the 1. That looks pretty good from that angle. Just a thin edge and just dead weight, but he looks as if he's trying to use inside English to spin and hold. He's hit it full in the face, which is actually the best outcome there because it just stops the cue ball squirting away. Well, this is a wee bit tight, this 5 ball. See, when you're right behind it and you look at where you've got to put that 5 ball to actually get it in the hole there, it's really tight. You've got to hit it right in off that far jaw. Well, that's a little diggy stun shot. Now, how's his luck? How's his luck here? Well, I think he's going to have to just pot that one down the rail. I don't think he can see enough of the 5. Now, again, ideally, with a wee bit of pace, he should be nudging that 5 somewhere. Looks as if he's drawn away from it. Well, the angle that he's playing here, he's surely going to pot the 5 to get the force following the 3. Yeah. So Larry's lead is 45. The visit is 24 at the moment. A mid-range 5 ball. And again, Larry's been caught out. And the run has ended on 24. And these pockets are tough. And Larry, when he comes back to the table, might not have quite as big a lead if Interchangex can get his act together. He's gone stone cold in his first 2 visits. What can he do this time? Well, he's in a worse position here than Larry was in his last shot. He's going to have to dig one out here to keep this run going. Yeah, so difficult. So, it's only 14. But he's on the board. 5 ball is not doing anything where it is at the moment. But Larry can certainly, I think, just chip it. Again, it hasn't fell nicely for him. He's got no shot. He's got the thin cut into that right middle, or he can play the bank. It looks as if he's looking for the cut. Got to get it to that far jaw. It's the only way it'll go in. So it's only 2. But the table is in no great position here for Interchangex to do anything, especially where he is right now. Looks as if he's banking the 1 but playing the force follow to the 3. Oh, if that 1 ball had just chipped to 5, that would have been handy. And he might be able to, if he puts enough power in this. No, I thought he might have been able to spin onto the 5. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But this time he can stun onto that 5. Don't hit the top side of it though. Well, he's missed it completely. So it's only going in fits and starts here in this second rack for Interchangex. But it's going to be the same for both players unless they can get that 5 ball into play. It's no good lying there. on that bottom rail, because it immediately narrows down your chances of putting any sort of run together. Now this time it's going to move. It is definitely going to move this time. Well, the obvious one, pot the 5, run across to the left. Somewhere near the middle diamond would be perfect. Not too much. Yeah, just about there. That will do very nicely indeed, because that leaves the easy carom, thin edge of the 1, and brush onto the 5. And that way you're guaranteeing you're leaving a shot on that 3 ball or the 5. Well, he's just got a bit too much juice into that one. What he wanted to really do there was sort of finish there. He can still draw off the top rail and in behind the 5. Well, he's went the inside on the left rail. And now he's going to have to dig out a pot again. Let's see what it looks like from there. Well, that's a lot easier angle to work with. And again, the easy carom. And now he's in trouble. He's got no shot. He's got a very dodgy 3 ball blind pocket shot. Cue ball running to keep this visit going. Playing the 3 ball into the bottom left hand corner. But again, you cannot cheat these pockets very much at all. So Larry's lead is quite substantial, as it was in that first rack. Now, can Interchangex eat into the deficit? Leading by 1 rack to 0, and it's only a race to 2 in this semi-final match to see who meets Baker Maker. Let's have a quick look at this bracket to remind myself here. Well, this match deadline was tonight, so it's being played at the moment. The final is to be played by January the 23rd, so that's only 4 days. And also a reminder that we have the 8 ball the 8 ball World Championships is open for sign-ups. It should actually have been called the 8 ball bar table World Championships, because anybody that signs up needs to be aware it's on the bar table. That's a 7-foot table, I believe. And that's going to be the second one that's played, even though we're 2.5 years since the last US Open was played. And I think this 8 ball World Championship starts on the 7th of February. So there's a couple of weeks for the sign-ups to build up. And that's going to be tough, as it was previously, because you've got 15 balls on the table on a small table, and you're going to have to do some good positional play to do any good in that tournament. So Interchangex on the run of 20, a very thin edge of this 3. The cue ball is going to be running. Well, he's played it gentle, and he's played it well, because he's held for the 5-1. And all the time that Larry isn't at 90, Interchangex has got a chance, but that was a poor one. That really was. A complete misjudgment on that carom has let Larry in. So it's going to be the 5-1. Force follow. Bit more angle than you like on this shot. These can always squat past an edge here. And now he's in good shape. He's on 82. Needs to remember that score. Well, I wouldn't even be looking at the 5. I'd be potting the 1. Get off that side rail and leave yourself an easy carom to follow. Well, answers on a postcard there, folks, because I have not got a clue what Larry was doing there, and I don't think he did either. Now, anybody can come up with a suggestion as to what Larry was doing there. Let me know. That's if anybody's still watching, because I am totally flummoxed with that shot. I mean, it was nowhere near the pot. The pace he played it at, I don't know what happened. I think he might have hit the ball unintentionally there. So Larry's only got himself to 82, and he's given Interchangex an open invitation to put Larry right under the cosh here if he can. Okay, he's got a deficit to make up, but he could put a big hole in it right now if he can hold himself together. Force follow. Oh, no. He's picked the wrong line there. Well, Larry's breathing a sigh of relief because he's back at the table. Is it not? Right, give me a second, guys. I don't know what's happened here then. It should be working. It was working when I came into the room earlier on. Right, let me check something. Hang on. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. Well, I have to say, everything looks okay on my end. There's nothing on Restream that's telling me that nothing's working. Well, the only other thing I can do is repaste the restream URL into my little window and see if that fixes anything. Just give me another second. Where are we? Interchangex 30 points behind us, so right, guys, I've copied the URL back in. It comes up here telling me from Restream that the chat is ready to display messages, so it should be working. It's actually running a bit slow for some reason, but the chat should be working if you want to type something. That way I know that it's definitely working. Right, back to the match. We've got Larry now on 93 in the second rack with a 40-point lead. Is that going to spin enough? No, it isn't. And the chat is definitely working. All the chat channels are working. There's 5 people watching on YouTube and there's 1 on Twitch. That I do know. So although it's telling me the chat is working, if your chat isn't appearing on my screen, then there must be a technical problem at the restream end, because everything suggests it's all working okay. Apologies for that. But the more important thing is Larry's got himself to a similar position as he did in the first rack. I think he ended up in 93 in the first rack and didn't get any more. He's going to have to pull out a shot here again. Now my window is still telling that it counts out after 2 minutes, but it's still saying the chat is ready to display messages. Everything I've checked is all green lighted, that all the chats are working. I've repasted the URL for the chat, so it's working. Right, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn the heating off. I'm beginning to boil here. Right, I'm back. Yeah, well, there's definitely no chat showing on my screen. That's annoying. Although there was at the beginning when Tin arrived in the room. Which is even more annoying, so it means something's broken down in the middle of the stream for some reason. Yet there's no suggestion that there's any technical problem whatsoever. So, apologies guys, if you have been saying something, it's not that I've been ignoring you, it's the fact that I've not been seeing anything. So Larry, back at the table on 94, Interchangex, visit only 22, still way back on 75, and Larry will be desperate to get closer to that last scratch. The closer he can, the better for his chances in tying up the match. This looks good. Now the double kiss is actually might have done him a little favour there. He just didn't get into that one enough. And Interchangex now has the opportunity to do exactly what he did in the first rack. No, there's nothing appearing. Oh, have I got mail? Have I? Well, if this goes to 1-1, I'll go and check my mail. I'm sure it's nothing of great importance. Yeah, if Larry manages to tie this up, I'll go and have another look at this restream site and see if there's anything that I can see that's a problem, and I can't see that there's a problem. I just don't know what the hell's gone wrong. As soon as I load up Gamecaster, it always pops up with the chat window from Restream, and the chat window always says, you know, the chat is ready to display messages, and that always tells me it's working. And when I check all the 5 channels on Restream, it says that they're all working, so there's nothing to give me a clue as to what the issue might be. And Larry is in very good shape here. He could well be out here if he can get these last few caroms. Well, yeah, I was just going to say that if he can bank that 5 on and off the rail and get it up the table, it can try and keep him in shape for his next one. And the 3 ball again needed to bounce a bit more, but he's got the 3 to the 5. You can go one rail or 2 rails onto the end rail. I'd prefer the 3 to the 5, to be honest with you, because it's a bigger target to get to from the 3. If you go to the rail first, you've still got a strong chance of hitting the 5. Well, he's managed to get it from the 5 to the 3. It was the more difficult shot, but now he's sitting pretty, because that cue ball has landed perfect for the scratch into the middle to tie the match. Oh dear. Well, I don't think you're going to get them much easier than that, Larry. That was a bit of a howler. He needed to stun that in because it's just a standard thing. You look at the tangent line from where you're hitting the object ball and the tangent line from the object ball, which is the line that the cue ball's going to take. And if it's not quite there, then you stun it to get it into the hole. And Larry's missed it, and that could be a big miss because Interchangex has shown what he can do when he gets to these caroms. He run right through them in the first rack to pinch that first rack, and there's a possibility here, although it's a slim one, that Larry might have played his last shot. Well, Interchangex is getting tactical here. Let's have a look if he's got the cover, because he might not have. No, he hasn't quite, has he? I think he has. No, he hasn't. Larry could just squeeze past, but he couldn't get enough to make the scratch. But, well, as I say, that scratch into the middle, that was a bad miss by Larry. And they sometimes don't come any easier than that. And certainly Larry isn't going to be scratching off this one. This is the old pick a pocket, give it a bang, and hope you get lucky. That's how you play this. And I don't think Larry can get out from the point. I think he's corner hooked. He can't get out. He can't get a line down there. This is impossible. Well, Interchangex is in the caroms. Now, failed to connect with the chat server. Please try reloading the page. Now, there's a message popped up on my screen. And there is definitely a problem at the restream end. That's the first time I've had that message up on the screen. So we'll wait until the outcome of this rack and I'll go and have another look. Because... yeah, Larry, well, he's played the deliberate foul. He thinks the 3 ball's in the kitchen. It certainly isn't. Oh no, Interchangex played the deliberate foul. I'm getting excited. I'm forgetting who's at the bloody table. Yeah. Now, the thing is, if Larry was... Oh, that's a brilliant shot. What a shot. And what a way to tie the match up. That's like a 1 in 50 shot that you get lucky and you get the right edge on that. Thank God we got that one recorded. You don't do that often in Cowboy, where you have to bank out the kitchen onto the one, pick that pocket and hope you get lucky. And Larry got lucky. Well, that's a redemption there for Larry after missing that scratch into the middle. Right, guys, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to have another look at this damn chat thing. Right, guys, I have an answer. That message pop-up that I got is telling me that there was no problem at my end, and what Restream have actually done is that they've actually killed the chat, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds. That's the reason. So that's why we've got no chat. That's why I get the pop-up message, because they've actually pulled the plug on it, because they've obviously had people complaining that there is no chat working in the stream. So we'll just have to continue. You'll just have to listen to me and have no say in the matter. So we're in a final rack decider. Larry with that tremendous scratch from the one ball being in the kitchen, having to play out of the kitchen to make it a legal shot, calling the bottom right hand corner pocket, getting the one ball perfect and scratching to tie the match at 1 rack all. And now it's anybody's game. And I went and pasted that in the chat there, forgetting. I mean, that's annoying for the players as well. Well, that'll go down as outshot of the tournament, that one from Larry. I don't think anybody will beat that one unless they pick a 3-railer out for the outshot. In fact, the 3-railer's actually an easier shot to get than what that shot was that Larry got. So, Larry with only 2 points on the board though. Interchangex. A lead of 19 and counting, although he's got no shot on here but a thin 3. And he's got the recovery. He can go the 2 rails into behind the 5. Now, if there's well, I was going to say, if there's anybody watching, tell them the score in the snooker. I've immediately forgotten the bloody chat isn't working. Because I don't want to have the snooker on in the background. That'll ruin my bandwidth. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. While the stream's off, switch it to the telly and have a quick look myself. Hang on. And just see what the score is.
Before that would happen.
Ali Carter at the table. It's 5. I was going to say 5 racks all, 5 frames each. So Ali Carter's got himself back into it. First player to get to 10 frames, so there's a long way to go in that final session. Whoever wins it is going to be a first-time winner of the Masters. It's a non-ranking snooker event because it's only the top 16 players that get invited to it, but Ali Carter was not in the top 16 and only ended up getting in the tournament because Ronnie O'Sullivan decided not to take part. Ali Carter was number 17 in the ranking, so he got first spot. So it's Interchangex with only a visit of about 6 in his last visit. And Larry back in. And once again, he's going to have to make a shot here. He's got nothing easy. A firm stun to that 5 ball. And he's hit it full in the face. He's still going to have a pot though. And he has a choice. He can pot the 1, come off the side rail and around the angles to leave a 3-5, or he can pot the 3, go across to the left and leave the 3-5 from that side. Oh, he's gone inside. He's actually come left and up the table there, which is not great, but he's got a 2 railer if he wants from the 3 to the 5, but not as easy because there's a big gap that cue ball can squirt behind like that. And Larry's visit is 21. Well, there's an easy carom to follow here. Pot the 5 and run through as far over to that right as you can, and you should be looking good for the 5-1 carom. That looks nice. Just a gentle one. Even if you just push the one towards the middle pocket, it guarantees you a pot. Now what does he do? And this is awkward because if he pots the 5, obviously it goes onto its middle spot, but now what's it saying here? Failed to connect to the chat server. Please try reloading the page. I wonder if that means I've switched it back on. Let me try, hang on. Right, I'm going to try again. Yeah, the chat's definitely goosed. It's definitely not working. It won't be now until they fix it. Yeah, it keeps telling me to reload it, so we won't have any chat for the remainder of this match by the look of it. It's dead and gone. More important matters are at hand here though, because Interchangex is on 20. Can he see the one? I don't know whether he can. No, he cannot. He's not got a pot. I'm going to get rid of that. Hang on. Right, that's better. Well, Interchangex has managed to recover. I don't know what the hell he did there because I was too busy messing with that chat, but he's on 25. He's building up a lead. Now again, he's still got a shot. Run the 5 in, run up the table with it. Give him the choice, depending on where the cue ball finishes, of 5 to the 3 or 5 to the 1. It looks like the 5 to the 3. That's a wee bit tricky. Now, is he trying to spin from that 3 to the 1? Yes, he is. Always the danger running along the rail. He's got away with it. Because sometimes you've just got to take that risk. The run is 32. The lead is 35. But he's still not in perfect shape here. He's having to dig out pots. Now, ideally, stay the top side of the 5 ball. I don't know whether he can though, because you're going to have to make the pace to get it into the hole. And the cue ball's going to be running. He's tried to keep it the top side as much as he can, and he's still got a chance here. He's just the top side of the 3. So he's got the run to the side rail or stun directly to the 3 if he wants. And it's going to be a long pot in a 5 to keep this going. But all the time he keeps it going, the lead is building up. Oh, he's overcut it. Now, could that be a lifeline for Larry to get himself back in this final rack? The run ends on 38. And Larry comes to the table. And he is, what is he, 40 points behind or thereabouts. And this is not in good shape either. He's going to have to make a shot here. Again, the most obvious one to me is 5 to the end rail with a bit of inside to get to that 3. It's the most obvious one. And he's just not get into it enough to make that spin work off the side rail. You either get those on the nail or you just do that and you skim past it. They're not easy to judge. And the more you play them, the more you can pick that line. So again, you know, Larry never plays Cowboy. But that is a bad one though, from Larry's point of view, because he's made no inroads into that deficit, and all the time the Interchangex gets closer to these caroms, the more dangerous it becomes for Larry, because it puts so much pressure on him to actually make a contribution. And he has to if he gets another visit. He simply has to if he's going to stay in this tournament. Well, he has a chance again, because Interchangex, with a tricky little cut in the 1 to make the cross carom to the 3, hasn't worked out. Well, Larry's going for the 5. I'd be potting that 1 because it's got onto its spot. See, now he's out of line. I don't know why he went for the 5, because he's not in any great shape here. He's having to make one. It's much better to have it lined up if possible, and he's having to dig one out. And you don't want to be leaving too many of them where it's up in the air as to whether you're going to be able to pick that line. And again, the shot here would be to just run through on this 1 into the middle. It looks like it from here. Run through, off the side rail and out, and you've got an easy 5-3. Well, he's drawing back to play the 3-5. 6.5 a dozen. Well, with this shot, the 3's got to be going somewhere up near the top left-hand corner pocket. Not too hard, and at least you leave yourself a shot. And it's hung over the pocket. Run the 5 onto the 3. It would have been ideal if he can get to the 3 on its own, because that way he's got easy caroms. You're going to try and spin round, that's risky. Because the 3 would spot and he would have the easy 3-5 carom. Well, nothing doing there. Nothing doing there at all. He's going to have to run the cue ball. It's a fairly big target area to get to. Is he going to try and go side rail to the 5 or side rail around the corner onto the 5 off the 2 rails? Because that shot's on. He's played it well. How's his luck for a pot? He's okay. Well, I think this is imperative that Larry gets rid of the deficit here, because that immediately then puts some pressure back on his opponent. Well, I'd be drawing that cue ball back about 6 inches. Maybe not even as far as that, but at least you're giving yourself a shot at the 1-5. In fact, even if you overdraw it, you should still have a shot at the 1-5 or even the... Yeah, he's gone back just far enough. If he misses the 5, he should have the 3. So he's got that back up there. He can even go 5-3 if he wants, but thin off the 1. Well, I don't know. I much prefer just going thin off the 1. The 1-5 looks fairly straightforward here. He's looking at the 5-3, and that's a mistake. No, it's not. What am I thinking? I'm forgetting. I'm thinking Larry's up at the caroms. He's only in 54. I'm getting carried away with this. This chat thing's done my head in, so it has. No, the correct score is Larry's in a run of 29. He's on 57, 18 points behind, and has to be in front by the end of this visit. That's the bottom line. Now, got to pot the 3. These middle range pots are not advisable at this stage. Pot the 3. Get the cue ball down the table. Well, he's made his mind up by the look of it. No, he hasn't. He's doing everything he can to confuse me even more. That needed to travel a lot more, that cue ball. It needed to go past the 1. And again, he's in no man's land and having to pick another shot out here. There's nothing set. Well, the 2-in-1 shot is always on. That's the one I would fall back on. Going that direction to the 5. If you miss the 5, well, they've still got a chance of hitting the 1. 2-in-1 is a rescue shot that you go for. It's sitting there as plain as the nose in your face. That's the shot you go for. You've no other option, really. Got to give yourself a 50-50 chance. And he's now got the 3 ball. 1 ball and 5 ball are in alignment. So if he pots the 3, he needs to get left of the table, right of the table. Preferably left of the table. The shot to play with the 3 with inside English to go there, and that gives you the 1-5. So inside English to bring the cue ball down the left hand side, down this way, and that is pretty much where he should be. That gets him into alignment for the easy carom. Needs to stay lucky though and leave a pot. He's got the long 5. But once again, with this 5 ball, he should just be dropping it in and no more, and leaving that cue ball up there. You don't want to be letting the cue ball run anywhere when you don't need to. Just drop it in and leave the cue ball up there in the top rail or thereabouts to leave you that possibility of the 3 to the 5. Well, letting the cue ball run again has just put him in no man's land. He's having to dig out another shot here, and this is dangerous. Half ball on the left hand side is going to scratch off that 1 ball. Well, that's the right way to do it. He's going inside off the bottom rail, and now he is in good shape here. He goes into the lead, and the run is on 49. Now, can Larry keep the run going, and can he keep his points? And is he still aware of what the score is? All of these questions are going to be answered in a minute or two. Where's the cue ball? Half ball off the edge of the 3. Trifling with the scratch, and now he's got no shot. He's got a dodgy cut back in the 3. Now, if he plays this, he's letting the cue ball run. And if he goes to the 5, that's dangerous as well. There's a danger of a scratch in the top corner with the angle that he's looking at here to make this pot on the 5. Well, he's going the other way where he thinks is the safest route, trying to cut it into the corner on the right hand side. The run is 51. Yeah, very difficult on that angle with these pockets. So the run ends on 51, but the lead is only 4. But it's got Larry back into it for the time being. But now, if Interchangex can pot this 1 and leave himself the 1-5, or he can pot the 3 and leave the 1-5 from the top end, he has a choice. But Interchangex will be the favourite to get to the caroms. I'll have another drink. Oh dear. Well, that is a bad one at this stage of the match. No score from Interchangex. And is he feeling the pinch? And now Larry has it in his hands to get to the caroms and get into some points in the caroms as well, if he can. That'd have been better if it hadn't gone to the rail as much. It's still okay, he's still got a shot, but would have much rather been banking that 5 up and down the table with a more standard sort of force follow shot. Well, it's ended up not too bad because it's now got 2 balls at the top end. He's on 85. Now, is he going to risk thin cutting that 5? He has to avoid the carom and the 3 if he does. No, he's decided he's not going to do anything silly like that. Pots the 3, gets him to 88. Has the carom from the 3 to the 5. Now, if he could actually pot the 3 with this shot, it'd be handy, because that will get him level in 90. I don't know whether he can. But top rail and in behind the 5. And now he's got no option. It has to be the long cut on the 1. With just enough pace to pot the 1 and stop the cue ball running. Well, it's running, but he's well away from any of the 2 balls. Now, there is a carom there off the 5, but it has to be thin off the 5 with inside left English to straighten the cue ball up. I think that even that's too thin. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not a good angle. Larry's went inside 2 rails. Perfect. Now, can he get thin from the 5 to the 3? It looks on. Let's have a look behind it. Maybe not from that angle when you look at it. You would need to dig into that a fair bit to make the stun work. Yeah. Well, one thing's for certain. The 3 ball on the rail doesn't help Interchangex, but Larry is into the caroms on 91. A force follow to start here for Interchangex. And the pot, well, again, 3 ball on the rail. The 1 ball's the easier shot. And even if he pots this 3 ball down the rail, he's going to have to play it with a bit of pace to get the cue ball off the right rail, left rail and back into the table, so not worth the risk. It's anybody's game, this, but it's only going to be anybody's game if Interchangex can do something with that 3 ball in this visit to get him to the caroms. That's the only thing I can see happening here. As long as that 3 ball stays there, he's going to struggle. Oh dear. Well, he took the risk trying to move it, almost scratched. He's got away with it, but he's got no great shape on a carom. Now, what's he thinking on here? There's not an awful lot of choices. It looks like a stun to the bottom rail and try and spin it into the right hand side to make the hit in the 3. He could be going top rail inside left English to go around the left hand corner on the top side and come down and hit the 1. That's the 2 choices he has. That shot actually looks the easier one of the 2, but he's trying to go 2 rails to get to the 3. Difficult to judge. And Larry's got no... Well... sorry, not Larry. Interchangex has got the 5 to start, but he would have much rather been playing that 3, I think. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that's not doing him any favours at all. Once again, Interchangex is having to dig a shot out, looking to just thump the 1 and draw into the 5. Oh, he's trying to draw into the 3, and this time it's worked. I thought he was trying to draw into that 5 there, but that's worked out nice. The 3 is now in play. Interchangex on 83, and I think the worst possible outcome here is he's blocked in the 1, so it's going to have to be a thin cut on the 5 to try and drop that into that middle pocket. Oh, that's well played. And that now takes him to 88. 1 ball is a big target up in that corner. Well, that is handy. Oh, no, it's not, because it's gone too far up the table. I thought he was going to be lucky enough to leave the 1 there just to drop it in. And of course he's on a pot, so there's nothing else he can do but play the 1. Well, he could reverse bank it. It'll reverse bank past that 5 ball into the corner, I think. But with the shot he's played there, it's actually quite a good shot because he's left the balls all spaced apart. And Larry's going to have to make one. But once again, he has the 2-in-1 shot. That line there, either to the 1 or to the 5, is a shot to play. I mean, this is a shot I would play every day of the week in Cowboy. Whenever I see a carom like that and you see the alignment, you've got to go for the possibility of the 2-in-1. You can't take any other option because you've narrowed down your chances by 50%. You have to go for this one. You've got to be sure of getting the other option if you don't take the 2-in-1 shot. Yeah, see, that's just a 1 opportunity to hit that 3 ball, and that is asking a lot with the space that's around it. Why not play the 2-in-1 shot? Give yourself a better percentage of making a hit. And I think Larry's missed a chance there. I honestly do. Because in the end, he's made nothing. And Interchangex is breathing right down his neck. And he's got an easy 1-5 to get him right into the caroms. And if that 1 slows up or just runs past the 3, well, he can cut the 3 ball so that he's not going to pot it, and he can stun onto the 1. And I think that's a chance missed there by Larry. That could be a fatal mistake or a fatal missed opportunity on the 2-in-1 shot down the left-hand side of the table. He picked a shot that was a far more difficult shot with where the 3 ball was sitting. And if you don't get it, well, he's missed the 1. He should have took the risk there and stunned it off it, because he was never going to pot the 3. And Interchangex has missed a chance. He's run his 2. The match is all square, and Larry's got another bite at the cherry here. And if he can keep these very adjacent, he's going to make a big hole into this run to 100. Well, that's now gone awkward. It has gone awkward. He's going to try the 1-5. It's the safest shot. And he's way off the mark with that one. So now we're going to have a bit of a problem here. We're working with basically 2 balls here for the foreseeable future. And I think Interchangex is trying to just roll up to the 3 while he's looking at it. I think he was just trying to thinking about rolling dead weight to the 3 to try and bring it into play. He could also try the 3 railer to the 3, but he's not interested in that. Well, it's now going to be a struggle for these guys to put the points together. Well, Larry's missed it in the way up, hit it in the way back. Well, this is where you're dicing with danger here if he's going to thin from the 5 to that 3. If he misses the 1, well, he's going 2 rails. That's unlucky. The safest route was 2 rails, but always the more difficult shot. Now, what does Interchangex do? He's trailing by 3. The 3 ball is more or less out of the game at the moment. It's not quite in the pocket, but it's always very likely it's going to go in if you try and play a carom to it. Well, Larry will be going 5 to the 1. It's all about just judging the hit angle. You don't even really need an awful lot of spin on this. You just need to pick that angle off the 5. Well, now he's in dangerous territory here. He's just going to try and drop onto that 3 and no more. But it's going to push it nearer to the pocket unless he gets lucky. Well, that's the shot, because he's hit it half ball on the right side to bring it away from the pocket slightly. And he's left himself. Well, he's going to try and go thin edge. It needs to be really thin to keep it to that rail. Oh dear. Well, you wouldn't have thought he'd have missed that, but he has. So Larry's points are now at 96. I'm just going to try something here. No, the chat is still jiggered. It is still kaput by the looks of it. I think it's probably down for the night. Oh, well, the chat should be working again. It's coming up saying the chat is ready to display messages, so anybody still watching, type something in to see if it pops up, please. I don't know if anybody's still there. Say hello at least. There we go. It's working again. I fixed it. Good evening, Bedhead. Well, this looks good. Is it going to get there? No. Just not enough legs. Perfect line. It was right on target. Now is Interchangex trying a double hit here to push that cue ball onto the 1? Yes, he is. A clever shot, and it brings the 3 into play. Well, going back to that first rack, Interchangex shows what he can do in the caroms if these balls are in play. He's got them in play. They're not perfect, but he's now got a chance. Oh, he's going to spin away from it. Has he got? Has it got there? Oh no, he hasn't. He's did everything, skimmed all the way around it. Didn't quite get there in the 3, and it's only 1. And Larry has just missed the hit in the 1. Well, Bedhead, you're the only one that's still here, so thanks for staying all the way. I think everybody else has gone to bed. Well, again, he's tried to play that direct. I would have still played that as a 2-in-1 shot. I mean, you've got to give yourself the chance. You've got to go off the rail. Come down there. If you miss the 1, you have a strong chance of hitting the 5. And that could be a chance missed there by Interchangex. Larry going inside off the rail onto the 3. Oh, that is nice. And Larry could be out here. but he's going to have to push this 3 ball quite firm to get it to move around to that 5 ball or somewhere out into the table to give him another shot. And this is the way to play the game. You've got to see the line that the object ball that you're hitting is going to go to line up your next carom, and that's perfect. Larry's now on 98, and if he plays this right, he can bank the 3 up the table into the middle of the table. YouTube isn't working. Well, that doesn't matter. At least I've fixed something. As I say, this technical problem out with my control. It's all Restream's problem, the technical hitch that they've had, but at least I've got some of it working. But certainly Facebook chat is working. Oh dear. Oh, it is working. That knicker's there. Yeah, YouTube is working. Well, Larry has scratched, and that has given Interchangex surely his last chance in this match, in this final rack decider. But look at where these balls are lying. He's going to have to go the draw onto the bottom rail into the 5. That would be the shot. And he's just clipped it, but unfortunately he's pushed the 1 all around the angles into the far corner, top left. And that could be Interchangex's last shot. Well, what I tested there was just pasting the chat URL into my little window to see if it would actually kick in, and it did. So at least it's working. It's working at the end of the match though. Now Larry on 97. Oh dear. And that's another chance gone there. That was not a difficult one to hit. Just spun it too much off the rail. And look at the way these balls are gathering here. This could be danger. Well, Interchangex, he's looking to go to the rail before the middle pocket and spin into that 5. Or he's looking at the force follow, because he's got a choice here. But the danger with the force follow is the 1 ball's going up the table. It could hit the 3, or it could bank and come back up and push the cue ball out the way. Well, he's got to the 5 before the 1 ball got there, so now he's in great shape. Now, can he keep these in some sort of alignment? And the 5 ball going back up the table, again, playing the bank shot. Interchangex is on the ball here to run out. But the 1 ball has gone dead on the rail. It is not in a good position. Interchangex 2 points behind. Oh, this is looking dangerous here for Larry, but the 1 ball could be his lifeline. It is in an ugly place for the scratch. Well, it's in an ugly place for both players, so it's going to have to move. And the 3 ball is now out of the game as well. So we've got a tied match, 1 rack all, 97 points all. Interchangex on a run of 5. And trying to dig 1 out, and that's a cracker. That has brought the 1 off the rail. And now he's got, well, he has a choice. He can go the 2 rails to the 3, which is again another 2-in-1 shot. If you miss the 3, you've got a chance of hitting the 5. That's the best route to go. Well, he's played it just enough weight to get to the 3, and he's managed to get the hit. And again, he can go 3 to the 1 or 1 to the 3. 1 to the 3 looks far easier. It's a big target, and it's going to take him to the 100. And the 1 ball, if he doesn't hit it too hard, if he just cuts it, he's going to leave it to the right corner pocket in the bottom side here for the scratch. And he's missed the 3. What a chance Interchangex had there to win the match, and he's missed the carom to the 3. And Larry's got the carom from the 3 to the 1. It's anybody's match if Larry can get this. Well, you've got to play the 3 to the 1 and you've got to hit it. I think you've got to hit this fairly firm to move the 1 ball and try and get a bit of luck of running here. Oh, the double kiss has done him a huge favour. What a time to get the double kiss. Larry now on 99. Now, can he get this 1 ball in such a position to leave the scratch? He's just got to feather the 3, brush the 1, and leave the cue ball near the rail if he can to get it out into this bottom right hand corner pocket. No guarantee it's going to work out, but that's the plan. Gentle it has to be. Try and keep that 1 ball there. And that is perfect, and that's game over. No, it isn't. He's only 99. I'm getting excited. I am getting so engrossed here, I'm totally forgetting what the score is. I thought Larry was on to 100 there. Well, he's trying to go thin. Oh, that will do. He's definitely on 100 now. Now, does he play the big stun off the 1 into that corner? That is what he's called. You've just got to go for it 100%. A nice firm stun. Pick the hit point and the tangent line from that 1 ball for the cue ball straight into that corner pocket. And he's overdone it. These pockets are tight and you've got to nail it. So Larry is on the hill, but Interchangex is going to have to slam the 3 if he's going to try and move that cue ball to the 5. And look at where the 1 is. It's in a great position for the scratch in that right hand corner. Oh, he just got it. Where's the 3 ball finishing? Well, Interchangex has got the stun for the match. A match that ended up in both players' hands. I don't think he's playing it. I think he's playing the 3-railer. Well, he was lining up for the 3-railer to the top left-hand corner, but is he playing the stun now? It looks as if he's hitting it half ball. Yeah, I didn't like the way he was lined up to that there. That wasn't the line to get the scratch, and he let the cue ball run rather than hitting it firm and stunning it. And he's handed it to Larry. And again, you have to hit this firm for it to hold that line. You can't go half measures. You've got to go all out for it. Nice and firm. You've got to take the risk. This to get to the final. Oh, he went to the right pocket instead. I never even saw that. I still preferred the left pocket with that. Well, one thing's for certain. It's gone safe. He's left Interchangex, a difficult one. The clip on the edge of this one for the scratch in the top left-hand corner. Well, this would be a great shot to win the match, and he's on line, but it's not going to get there. Oh, drama. Oh, this time Larry's got the scratch from the 1, but look at where he is. He's got to dig right into this, and he's got to thump it. He's got to jack the cue up, thump that 1, and go square into that corner pocket. Oh, that 1 ball has to bounce, for Larry's sake anyway. Well, he has to go for the force follow. You push the one, you pick the line to run that cue ball up into the corner. The shot is on. You've just got to guess that line. But he's not playing that at the moment. He's looking at other alternatives, but I don't see many alternatives. That is the shot, because the one ball is going to be well out the way. You're sending the one ball there, and you're running the cue ball there. That is where he should be going. He hasn't called a pocket yet, has he? Right, he's calling the middle pocket. No, he's calling really safety, leaving Larry in a hole. Now there's where the tactics come in. He's left Larry nothing, but remember what Larry did to tie the match up. Had to play out the kitchen at the end of that second rack. Interchangex deliberately scratched. Larry had to, I think he did anyway, but Larry had to play out the kitchen, and where the one ball is right now is where Larry called it. He went up and down the table, up and down, hit the one and scratched in that second rack to tie the match up. But he's going to have to do something a bit more miraculous. Yeah. Well, Interchangex is in exactly the same position he was 2 minutes ago. And again, he's trying to play safe and lock Larry up. Well, this time it's dangerous because he's not gone past the middle pocket. And we know what Larry's going to be calling here. Clip that one. Off there, and in the pocket. That's the plan. Oh, unlucky. Should have called the other pocket. And it's a disaster because I've forgotten about the fouls. It's the 3 fouls. Oh, what a way to lose. What a way to lose the semi-final for Larry. I was totally forgetting that Larry was in 2 fouls. What a disaster. Interchangex has won it in 3 fouls. Now, how would you expect to scratch the cue ball in the opposite middle pocket when you're playing the bank to scratch into the other middle pocket? That is a total disaster, and Interchangex has won it on the 3 fouls. Well, you don't get any closer than that. 100 points all, and poor Larry, well, he's going to be gutted after that, after having pulled off that scratch in rack number 2 to square the match. He goes out in the 3 fouls. It's just a pity that we don't get a message on the screen saying 2 fouls, only the players. Maybe that's something to improve in the future, because I was totally confused. But in the end, Interchangex has got the rematch. And, well, that's true. I mean, I think he had a fairly straightforward scratch. But I'm pretty certain that it's going to be the rematch, because Interchangex was beaten by Baker Maker in a match that went to the final rack to send Interchangex to the one-loss side. But it's going to be Interchangex and Baker Maker in the rematch for the final. And, well, Albie has said it. Larry has been there before, time and again, in these big tournaments. And, well, again, he's tripped up, not quite at the finish line. But what a disastrous way to lose the match on the 3 fouls. That is really unlucky. But it's going to be the rematch. Interchangex and Baker Maker. It has to be made within 4 days. And the final race is what, to 4? No, it isn't. Not when these guys are playing. I mean, if they get a good run, All you need is about 3 or 4 visits, and a game of cowboy in Iraq could be over in 20 minutes. We've seen it earlier on in the tournament, especially when Romario was playing in it. He had a match, I think it was a match with 4 racks, and it was over in 90 minutes. Anyway, guys, sorry about the technical problems. Out with my control, as they say at the BBC. Thanks for your company. Thanks for joining. And hopefully, I don't know, I think these two guys are both from the States, Interchangex and Baker Maker, or is Baker Maker the UK? I can't remember. Anyway, hopefully I can get the final, and hopefully you can join us. And until then, until we meet again, thank you for your company, and I will see you again soon, and wish you good night, and I'm away to watch the rest of the snooker.